Picture this. Arsenal could fill their stadium twice over, every single match day, and still have fans waiting outside. That's not an exaggeration, it's Arsenal's reality right now. The demand for tickets has reached levels that would make most clubs envious. Match days sell out instantly, and the waiting list stretches into the tens of thousands. Why? Because Arsenal has come roaring back. Mikel Arteta has transformed the club into genuine title contenders, playing thrilling, attacking football. The Emirates atmosphere is absolutely electric, one of the most intimidating venues in English football. Arsenal is competing at the highest level again, and supporters everywhere are desperate to experience it live. The club's response? An ambitious plan to expand the Emirates to 75,000 seats, transforming it into one of Europe's great stadiums while generating the revenue to keep competing with the continent's elite. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite years of planning, world-class architects on board, and expertise from billion-dollar stadium projects, construction hasn't started yet. Why? Because what Arsenal is attempting is genuinely remarkable, an engineering and planning challenge that only a handful of clubs worldwide have ever faced. This is the story of Arsenal's expansion, why it's so complex, and why the club is determined to get it absolutely right. Arsenal's journey from Highbury to the Emirates Stadium in 2006 marked a defining moment in the club's history. For 93 years, Highbury had been home, a beloved ground steeped in tradition and memories. Thierry Henry once called it "my garden," a sentiment shared by generations of supporters who witnessed countless magical moments on that historic turf. But by the early 2000s, the intimate 38,000-seat venue could no longer support the club's growing ambitions in an era where matchday revenue was becoming essential to competing at the highest level. The decision to relocate wasn't just about finding more space. Arsenal needed a modern commercial powerhouse that could generate the revenue necessary to compete with Europe's wealthiest clubs. Working with HOK Sport, now known as Probuilds, one of the world's leading stadium architects, they invested approximately £390 million between 2004 and 2006 to create a purpose-built arena with a capacity of 60,704 seats, nearly double what Highbury offered. When the Emirates opened, it immediately established itself among the top tier of English stadiums. The modern hospitality, media, and corporate amenities significantly expanded Arsenal's commercial footprint. At the time, it ranked as the second largest club stadium in England, surpassed only by Manchester United's Old Trafford, symbolizing the club's ambitions both on and off the pitch. Building the Emirates demanded major investment, with stadium-related debt peaking at roughly £260 million in the years after its opening in 2006. Rather than chasing short-term success, Arsène Wenger and the board adopted a disciplined, self-sustaining model that protected the club's long-term stability. Between 2006 and 2013, Arsenal qualified for the Champions League every single season while steadily reducing that debt. By the late 2000s, the club had largely cleared its stadium obligations through refinancing and repayments. Yet, as Arsenal's fortunes have risen, so too has the competition for stadium supremacy. Tottenham Hotspur unveiled their spectacular 62,850 capacity stadium in 2019, immediately becoming the largest club ground in London. Liverpool expanded Anfield to over 61,000 seats through careful phased development. Today, the Emirates ranks behind Old Trafford, Tottenham Stadium, West Ham's London Stadium, and Anfield, reflecting how dramatically the Premier League landscape has evolved. Despite this shift in rankings, demand for Arsenal tickets has remained extraordinarily high. Home matches consistently sell out, and the club reportedly has over 100,000 supporters on the waiting list for season tickets. A number so staggering it represents nearly 2 full stadiums worth of fans unable to secure access. This imbalance between demand and capacity tells a powerful story. Arsenal's resurgence under Mikel Arteta has reconnected the fan base in ways that exceed even the most optimistic projections. This reality hasn't gone unnoticed by club leadership. Co-chairman Josh Kroenke has publicly confirmed that Arsenal is actively exploring expansion options, nearly 19 years after the stadium first opened. The club's commitment to this expansion is so strong that they made a strategic decision that surprised many. Arsenal chose not to submit the Emirates as a host venue for Euro 2028. While the UK and Ireland will jointly host the tournament across 9 stadiums, including North London rivals Tottenham, Arsenal prioritized their long-term infrastructure plans over the prestige and revenue of hosting a major international tournament. This decision provides a clear runway to focus on upgrades without the scheduling constraints of a major international tournament. The objective is clear: increase capacity to match overwhelming demand and generate the revenue needed to compete at Europe's highest level. A stadium built for 2006 now faces the challenges of 2025, and evolving the Emirates won't be simple. So how exactly can Arsenal expand a stadium that was never designed to grow? That's where the real story begins. The question Arsenal has been wrestling with for years is deceptively simple. How do you add 20,000 seats to a stadium when there's physically nowhere left to build? The answer represents one of modern football's most ambitious architectural challenges. Arsenal is targeting a capacity increase from 60,355 to somewhere between 70,000 and 80,000 seats, with most analysts believing the sweet spot sits around 75,000, a figure that would restore the Emirates among Europe's elite venues. The timing carries symbolic weight too. The Emirates opened in 2006, meaning an expansion around 2028 or 2029 would mark the stadium's 20th anniversary, a fitting milestone. But the real challenge lies in location. When Liverpool expanded Anfield, they had space behind stands to build new structures. When Tottenham constructed their stadium, they worked with open ground. Arsenal doesn't have those advantages. The Emirates sits on just 17 acres in North London, completely hemmed in. Railway lines run along 2 edges. Major roads occupy the other boundaries, and residential neighborhoods fill every gap. There's absolutely no space to expand outward. This constraint has pushed Probuilds, the architects who designed the original Emirates, toward an unconventional solution, building vertically instead of horizontally. The concept involves making the stadium bowl taller and steeper. Existing stands would rise higher, gradients would become more acute, and additional rows would stack within and above the current structure. Upper-tier fans would sit at sharper angles, creating what some have described as a wall of noise effect that could transform the Emirates' atmosphere entirely. If this sounds theoretical, there's proven precedent. Benfica's Estádio da Luz in Portugal. Also designed by Probuilds with remarkably similar bowl geometry, Benfica successfully added roughly 3,000 seats through vertical expansion. They excavated downward at pitch level for 2 front rows, then built upward, adding tiers atop existing stands, all without altering the external footprint. The project took just 18 months from final approval to completion. Arsenal's team has studied this extensively because it proves the concept works on nearly identical architecture. There's an unexpected benefit too. Europe's most intimidating venues, like Borussia Dortmund's Westfalenstadion, feature extremely steep stands that naturally amplify crowd noise. A more vertical Emirates could enhance atmosphere while adding capacity. Imagine 75,000 voices in a tighter, more vertical configuration. But building upward creates one massive problem: the roof. The Emirates roof weighs around 14,000 tons, held in place by 4 enormous steel trusses stretching over 200 meters across the stadium, each engineered with absolute precision for current heights and loads. Make the stands taller, and you completely disrupt that structural balance. Arsenal would face 2 options: either lift the entire 14,000-ton roof while keeping it stable, an extremely rare engineering feat attempted by only a handful of stadiums worldwide, or demolish it entirely and build a new system from scratch. When West Ham made minor roof modifications at the London Stadium, they faced 18 months of delays and massive cost overruns. At the Emirates, the challenge would be exponentially greater. But Arsenal's vision extends beyond seats. The club is thinking holistically about what an expanded Emirates could become. Taller stands create valuable internal volume for larger hospitality areas, premium lounges, restaurants, corporate facilities, and retail. These aren't just additions, they're revenue generators. Estimates suggest the additional hospitality space alone could generate 50 to 70 million pounds annually. Arsenal has cited Real Madrid's Bernabeu renovation as inspiration. Madrid isn't merely adding seats, they're creating a year-round entertainment complex with retractable roof and commercial infrastructure for concerts and conferences. Arsenal's ownership brings crucial expertise. Stan Kroenke's portfolio includes SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, a $5 billion venue that pushed engineering boundaries. Arsenal has brought in Otto Mahle, who solved SoFi's complex structural challenges, specifically to advise on the Emirates roof problem. So the vision is crystal clear, the concepts are developed, and world-class expertise is assembled. Arsenal knows exactly what they want to build, which makes one question increasingly difficult. If planning is this advanced and the need this urgent, why hasn't construction started? That's where our story takes a frustrating turn. Arsenal's expansion plans are still at a preliminary stage. The club is currently holding early discussions with architects, engineers, and consultants, assessing whether a significant capacity increase is even feasible within the Emirates' tight constraints. Once a formal proposal is submitted to Islington Council, legal experts believe the planning and approval process alone could take anywhere from 3 to 5 years. In London, that timeline isn't unusual. It's the reality of delivering major infrastructure projects in densely populated urban areas. Islington Council faces a difficult balancing act. The Emirates is embedded within a residential neighborhood, with homes lining 3 sides of the stadium. On match days, local streets already experience heavy foot traffic, congestion, and noise. Increasing capacity by 15,000 seats would intensify those pressures, requiring detailed planning to protect residents' quality of life. Transport presents an even more complex challenge. The Emirates is served by Arsenal, Holloway Road, and Highbury and Islington stations, all of which already operate near capacity on match days. As former football executive Keith Wines has noted in discussions around stadium expansion, transport is often the critical pinch point. Any meaningful increase in attendance would require assurances that the local transport network can cope safely and reliably. When the Emirates was first built, Arsenal invested millions in station upgrades at Highbury and Islington and Finsbury Park. A new expansion would likely require similar commitments. Holloway Road and Drayton Park stations, both currently closed on match days due to capacity constraints, would almost certainly need major upgrades before approval could be granted. These infrastructure demands alone could add tens of millions of pounds to the project cost. Another unresolved question is where Arsenal would play during construction. Unlike the move from Highbury, when the Emirates was built alongside it, a major vertical expansion could require the club to vacate the stadium for 1 or even 2 seasons. Wembley would be the most practical temporary home, but that brings logistical challenges, disrupted season ticket arrangements, and reduced matchday revenue during a period of heavy capital spending. Timing adds yet another layer of complexity. Arsenal is once again competing at the top level, challenging domestically and in the Champions League. Taking on a project potentially approaching or exceeding £500 million while maintaining a title-contending squad requires careful financial sequencing, even under well-resourced ownership. London Mayor Sadiq Khan has acknowledged this reality, expressing support for the ambition while noting that pushing capacity beyond 70,000 seats involves several obstacles, including planning approvals, infrastructure demands, and resident concerns. So nearly 2 decades after opening what was once England's second-largest club stadium, Arsenal finds itself caught between overwhelming demand and overwhelming complexity. The Emirates expansion isn't stalled, but it is slow, deliberate, and constrained by realities few clubs in Europe face. And while the club works through these challenges, tens of thousands of supporters remain on waiting lists, hoping that one day the stadium built for 2006 can finally evolve for the future. So which obstacle do you think is truly holding this project back? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and like for more football stories.